I just want to ask you a question.
Yes.
You will give the tickets for anyone who put the information.
Yes, if you've registered,
Yes.
yeah, you'll just get an email and you just use that ticket.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're from PSUT, right?
Yes.
Yeah, then you're fine. You're good to go.
Are you busy with something?
Oh, no, it's okay.
Okay. Can we do more than one hack? Like if you have two ideas and choose?
Absolutely. In my experience, so you try to focus in on the one that you want.
Make it shine.
Yeah, and then go to the second one if you have time
After
to
you
do it.
finish the first one.
Yeah. Because what happens is sometimes then you're going to go back and forth, and you've got 24 hours, and you're going to start.
You get lost.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to go, oh my god, which one do I focus in on?
Yeah,
So
my
try-
plan is first the first one, then go.
Yeah,
to the
absolutely.
second.
So, how many people in your team?
Two.
Two. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Thanks.
No,
About judging, do you concern about the main idea or programming thing? Is it about the idea itself or?
No, it's not about the code, because that's the whole purpose of hacking, is you're using shortcuts to come up with some sort of prototype or something. It's more about the idea and how you implemented the idea. And so for me, like a good thing would be I would come in and say, hey, right now we're facing a problem with, let's say in Brazil, there was a really good hack that I liked. And the guy said that there's always a problem with ambulances going to pick up someone and not knowing exactly where to take them, as in which hospital to take them in terms of routes and stuff. So what they did is they built a hack where if you've got a heart attack, it will tell you which hospital you should go to depending on information from the hospitals about survival rates of people with heart disease or diabetes and stuff like that. So it was a bit weird, but it's sort of, in the medical field, it sort of helped them solve a problem that they thought they were having in that particular city. So look at problems that are happening in your region or to you personally and sort of look at solving that, and that's how you present it as well. When you come up there, you say, this is the problem and this is how we came up with the solution.
Last thing, can we take a problem that maybe you won't understand, like something in our culture or something?
Absolutely, yeah. It's nothing to do. It's nothing to do with. It's the best solutions are ones that are local and resolve local problems.
I mean, something in the religion or.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can go that deep.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Dale. Do we have a certificate of completion or anything?
We will do, yeah.
غير واحد في واحد
Yeah, for the hacking. Yeah. So if you participate in the hacking, there will be a participation certificate saying you have completed the Yahoo hacking.
And if you win, you get another certificate saying that as well.
And just no, just a and like we'll have a first winning hack.
keep your camera slow. Yes. You can start now.
I think we should start.
Yeah. I'll tell Jeremy now.
So.
Hey guys, we're going to start now. Just very quickly, the link that Jeremy had up there for you to register your hacks. So remember, that's only for you to, when you're actually starting your hack and you have some idea of what it is in the description, that's when you register. So that should be tomorrow evening, hopefully by midnight tomorrow. The link that you got is not correct right now. It's going to the University of Michigan. I'm going to resolve that today, so hopefully by tomorrow morning, you'll be able to register your hacks to the right site. Thanks.
Okay, for everyone who has coffee or drinks or anything, you've got just a few more minutes to drink them outside. Apparently, no drinks allowed inside the auditorium. Including you. Yes. Including Yahoo people. If you're drinking something, we'll see you in 2 minutes. And then we'll get started. In the meantime, for the people who are waiting, hi. I'm just going to interview people. Is that okay? Is that weird? Hello, what is your name? What are you taking here? Nothing? Okay. What do you? What's your favorite website on the internet? Facebook. What is the funniest thing you've seen on the internet in the last month? Anyone? What is the funniest thing you've seen on the internet in the last month? A YouTube video where someone falls on their face? A bad version of a song? Good YouTube videos? Stand-up comedy videos? Are they in English or Arabic? Arabic? Alright, I'll watch them and learn. What is that? Bad idea. Anyone who's outside and wants to see inside, come inside, please. And could I get projector, projecting stuff? There we go. Echo. All right, let's get started. So, how many people here have been to this website? Who here has been to this website before? Should be most of you. So what I'm going to talk about, as I mentioned, I'm going to talk about YQL and YUI, but I'm going to talk about it in the context of, can we turn this microphone off? I'm going to talk about it in the context of doing things quickly and using the tools to build something fast. And one of the things that I'm also going to touch on is other tools you can use to do web-based things and to build quickly. So, how many people? How many people here use Google Chrome? Awesome. You can put your hand up. I know you use Google Chrome too. Yeah, so Google Chrome has this really sweet thing, and in fact, all web browsers have this really cool thing called the Site Inspector. Well, all web browsers except Internet Explorer, they have one, but it's really hard to use and it kind of sucks. So for anyone who's built a web page before, you know about view source, right? Like you can Control U or right click and view source, and it shows you all the HTML. The only problem is with modern websites that use JavaScript, the HTML is out of date because JavaScript can change things on the page, and that doesn't affect the HTML that was generated, but it affects what you actually see. So we use a website inspector to be able to look at the content of the page and understand what's really going on. Anyone here used the website inspector before? Okay, a couple of you. So in Chrome, you can right click on an area and say inspect element. And this will pop up this handy little bar here. Right, so I can look at all the content of the page, and I can click through and play with it. I can even go as far as like delete node and change the page by deleting a piece out of the page right away. So you can really edit the page and play with it. So as you saw earlier with that inhabited web hack that had all the little blue arrows as you scroll up and down, they modified the page by adding content to every website. And one of the ways to practice doing that and to play with it and understand is using a website inspector. So the inspector lets you learn a lot about a website. You can see the code and click through and drill down into it. You can also see all the resources that were loaded. So if you're trying to learn how someone did something, or you're trying to figure out how you can copy it, because when I learned how to program, universities did not have any web stuff in their programs when I was learning back in '95. The only way to learn was to see what other people were doing and learn from them by reading their code. So this actually gives you all the pictures, all the JavaScript, everything that's used in this website. You can see it in the resource tab. You can also see the network loading time. So you've got here, like this is where all the pictures are loaded from, how long they took to load, etc. And these are all the scripts. Basically everything that's part of the page you can break down here. But one of the really cool things is the console. So the console actually lets you write JavaScript onto a web page and read error messages for anything that goes wrong with the web page. So if you're building something web-based, especially like in JavaScript, you can dump messages to a console and read the messages back. So it's the same thing as like a system console in like Bash or Unix or anything like that. We can actually use it to dump messages out. So I can just write here, I can be like alert, hello, future HackU winners. Right? And I can just alert this and it'll actually give me a JavaScript pop-up for that page. I can also say like confirm are you happy? Oops. See, I wrote that JavaScript and I hit enter, it gave me the error message. Are you happy? Alert, sweet. Else. Alert. Oh no, this. Right, so this will give me a confirmation dialog. Then I say yes, it says sweet. If I run it again and say no, it says oh no, etc. So you can actually build JavaScript in this, but that's a dumb example, right? Like who's going to do some stupid little JavaScript pop-up thing? It's actually really annoying, so don't do that. But what we can do, if I reload this page, is we can use JavaScript to totally modify a page however we want. So earlier when I was talking about taking shortcuts and making changes, luckily most of the people who are at the front row have left, so I can do this without getting into much trouble. But very nice website. The only thing missing on it is anything about Yahoo. And we're here, and we're happy to be here, and there's a lot of us here, so I think a little bit of Yahoo color, a little bit of Yahoo love, whatever. So I just wrote this while we were on that little coffee break. It's some simple JavaScript that puts the Yahoo logo into the page, right? So it finds, using JavaScript to get to the element that's the header. I'm not going to run through this too much, but I am going to show you by opening up console and putting this in here. And welcome to PSUT Yahoo! Woo! Right? Super simple, super easy. And now there's a nice big Yahoo logo on the top of the page. It looks like it was built into the system itself. I actually showed this to people earlier and they're like, did you hack into it? No, I just changed the picture using No, so that's the key. The only person who's seeing this right now is me. If I reload this page, if I reload this page, it goes back to the way it was. Because you only change it in that instance. There is, however, in Firefox, a tool called GreaseMonkey. The GreaseMonkey is a set of libraries and scripts that can be run against a web page every time you visit it. So I've already gone and written this because I knew I was doing this demo. I didn't want to waste too much of your time. So that same code I've made as a GreaseMonkey script. GreaseMonkey also, you can take them, the scripts you write, you can take them and move them into a Chrome extension just by copy and paste. So it's the same technology, the same code, the same everything. But if I turn on this script, replace PSUT, and reload the page, every time I visit this page, it's going to do that. But just me, still, this is just on my computer. And now I can take this script and I can email it to all my friends and they can install it on their computer. And every time they open the page in Firefox or Chrome, they will see this too. So it's not super, you're not building a new website or anything, but for the purpose of a demonstration, to be able to build something into a website or across websites, like seeing what words someone typed on one website and showing it to them again on another website, you can use GreaseMonkey to take over pages, which is really, really helpful. It's super easy to use, and if anyone has an idea that involves an existing web page, just talk to me. I'll help you get Grease Monkey set up. It's great for doing a demonstration, for building off of something that exists, and we can help you get set up and installed and working. But the real key is the JavaScript. So being able to write the changes into the page, being able to write the JavaScript to actually do this piece here. It's right, like this is not super complicated if you know anything about JavaScript. I'm just getting the elements on the page and changing the source of one. But this is a really simple example. So if I want to do anything crazier or more complex, I can end up writing a lot of JavaScript, especially the long one. And you can take them to shortcuts like var d equals document, and then create little shortcuts that break down the amount of text you're writing. But really, a library would be really handy to kind of automate some of these things to make them faster and easier. jQuery is one of those libraries that with jQuery things can be very simple, like being able to with jQuery you can kind of do animations right away with like one line of code. You can make everything draggable and move things on the page and make them fade in and fade out. The only problem with jQuery, and I use jQuery a lot, the only problem is they take away too much of the JavaScript. So if you go to the effort of learning jQuery, and then someone says, great, you program in JavaScript, you know jQuery, can you build or fix this JavaScript piece? And you look at it and you go, oh, that's actually pure JavaScript. I don't know how pure JavaScript works because I only know jQuery. So Yahoo has been working for the last 5 years on a library system called YUI. It used to suck. It was really bad. I hated it. I actually evangelized against it, saying, no, you should use other things instead because it's way too complicated. But the new one, YUI 3, which again is on the developer page, is actually pretty fantastic. So the YUI library is here, and this is on YDM. It has all the getting started, how to use it, how to get going. And if you go to the YUI 3 page, they run you through a tutorial of how to get started, how to write really good code that does really good things without working too heavily, without writing too much. So like something simple like clicking on a button and making it fade out and put new content in. That's like not even a line of code. It's so easy to write that you might as well, if it makes sense for your application, you might as well use it. And they have these examples like autocomplete. So if I want autocomplete on from search suggestions, so like you would have on Google or on Yahoo, where you start typing and they know what you're going to type and they help you finish it. This is the library that does that for you. And you just include a bit of code, you have some HTML, you have a little bit of JavaScript. This is the complete. So if you were to build this, build an autocomplete, this is everything you would need to write. It's 10 lines, 12 lines, and you would have an autocomplete drop-down. So we have a whole bunch of these widgets. We've got menu navigation stuff, we've got charting libraries, so if you want to do like graphical displays of data or information, you have charting libraries and it's totally different to make it all work and available. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to use YUI to build a very simple page and get started. And this will show kind of the basics of it. So YUI grid builder. This is, if you were here earlier, this is the thing that the student built that we then brought him into the company and he turned into the YUI grid builder. So you can come here and say, you know what, I want my website to be 974 pixels wide. I want a 300 pixel left sidebar. I want 2-column or 3-column layout here, and then I want another row that is 100% and another row, right? You can just add and build the layout. And then set header content, my demo page. And that's over here, my demo page. Set footer content, go copyright, all. Right, and then click Show Code, and here is all the HTML that I need for. So this is my HTML. So I can copy that, open up my favorite text editor, paste my HTML in there, and they have this little like your data goes here. So first. Second. Third. I can save that on my personal web server. This is really exciting, isn't it? This is probably the most exciting thing you've seen all day. Right, so here is my new website. Ta-da! Don't clap. I didn't do anything. But what I do have is I have the foundation of some HTML code and some CSS code that gives me a layout that I can start working with. So, if I go to YUI, we have this little script called Simple YUI. It gives you everything you need to get started. And you just copy paste this into your page. So I open up my HTML, I paste in the script to get started, and then so I can assign a content to this page, just by saying ID equals content. And
There's only one point.
if I'm losing people, not that I'm doing anything crazy right now, but if I'm losing people, put your hand up, I can ask a question, so this is like an interactive presentation. Yeah. Yes. So I built, everything that we do is designed to be used in mobile applications. We actually have one of the smallest and fastest JavaScript framework libraries for mobile applications available at, right now. We have one called Scroll View. Yeah, we have a site called Scroll View, and this gives you. So on a mobile phone, you can have a scrolling data set that doesn't have. Sorry. Oh yeah, there it is. So, this is what you see on an iPhone. This can all be done using YUI on a mobile device without being native to the phone. So I've built a number of iPhone apps that are released, and I just use WebKit, Safari on the phone, with YUI, and I can emulate everything that they do on the phone, just using JavaScript. So we provide those tools as well, and one of the nice things about mobile, like whether it's Android mobile or iPhone or Windows mobile, having an algorithm JavaScript, you can build it for any mobile phone as long as it's a web browser, as opposed to building a native application. So again? The other one? Africa. I can't get it out of my head. Really bad. So if I include the script, I now have access to write anything I want in Y.
It's okay.
So if I'm using the console, so let's say you're building something in JavaScript, you're working on a website, you're using YUI, you want to figure out what's going on, right? You say, I want to know what this object is. You just type console.log. Console.log. And this, if I save this and run it in my browser and open up my console, it will log the object into the console window. So now I can go through and I can click through and see all the details about what this object is and how it works. So you can do the same thing if you go like var a equals, right, so now if I look at A, this will give me a breakdown of what apples is, and I can analyze the object and look at it and everything. So this is really useful, especially when pulling external libraries, because you can look at something and go, oh, now I know what that is, I see what the problem is, and then debug it. So, I have a very basic page with an ugly header, and this is, by the way, this is why I keep talking about designers. If you don't like design, and you don't like picking out colors, well, then you can put that on a page. This is where if you have a designer on your team who can say, well, I think the background should be this color, and I think the text should be this color, and we should lay it out like this, and they draw it, it'll save you a lot of time. Working with designers has really been one of the ways that I've actually used myself. So you've got your grid builder, you've got your basic page, you put your layout in, and you say, this is going to be so I'll change this. Here are some Twitter tweets. Okay. And then, right, so here's some Twitter tweets. Tweets go here, and we will make H1. I'll make that bigger. Make H2. Right, so we can write some code that gives it a little bit more style. This is style sheets. Right, so I can put my style sheets in here, and here's some Twitter tweets. Tweets go here. Although we don't have any Twitter tweets, we don't have any data, we don't have a database, we don't have anything. But we do have YQL, and I showed you earlier that YQL can give us data from all the tweets. So we go to developer.yahoo.com. And we'll go click on YQL here. And this explains what YQL is, how to use it, how to walk through. But we'll go try the console. And then show community tables. We'll search for Twitter. All right, no one. Apple. So this, again, is going to give me all the tweets, and it has all the latest tweets, or the top 20 tweets that I can get for the query Apple. And I'm going to want that in JSON. Right, so this will give me JSON content right here. And so here's my Twitter tweets in JSON. I can copy this whole thing if I want. Let's go limit to. That'll be easier. So then I've got my 2 tweets right here. And our tweets equal that. So then I can look at the tweets object, and I can see there's my query, here's my results. I've got, is that visible? Can you guys read that? Right, so I'm browsing through the JavaScript object here, right? I've got my query, which is the returned object. I've got a count of 2, because I only got 2 results back. When it was created, it's a diagnostic, so which pages it hit, what it searched for, etc. The language it was returned in, the results object, and then if I go down to the results, I've got an array of 2 result objects. Right, so I can go and look at these. And here's my first one, my second one. And this is it. So this is the Twitter information that I get back. I get the created at time, the user who posted it, the user ID of the account. I got the geo, so if they included the place data of where they tweeted from, they would have that. The ID of the tweet, so I can index it or whatever I want. And a link to their profile image, so if I wanted to show their picture along their tweet. The source of the image, if they have a preference source, and then the text of it. So this person said FMMW1220 FMTAR and a bunch of other stuff, and really didn't say much at all, quite frankly. So that's sort of what it is. So I can look at this data now and say, I want the tweets to go in here. Why? Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Live coding and demo is always tricky. So one of the big questions I have when we use YQL is, how do we get the data back, right? Like, how do you take the data from the server over there and get it on your web page? YQL makes that really easy by doing this. This URL right here, you're able to define a callback function. So a callback function in JavaScript terms means when this happens, when it's done, send the output to this function. So send the output to this method here. And so I can say, may my callback function do something awesome, right? And then I run that. I've got this URL down here, right? This REST query. I can copy this and just include it with a script source. So say script. And I'm literally just saying, like, in HTML, the source is the YQL server. So it's going to go and hit the YQL server, do the processing, and return back the data. And I just have to define a function here with the same name as that I said over there. So do something awesome. I can say function, do something awesome. And I'll pass it data. Right? Data will be whatever the return from YQL is. So So then I can say console.log data. Now, if I reload this, what's going to happen? Anyone? It's going to hit MyQL, get the data, bring it back to the page, and show it in the console. All right, so let's reload. Let's see if we're ready. Yeah, so did you see how fast that was? To hit MyQL and fill out the same data piece from earlier. Right? So see how quickly it shows up? So we now have access to this in our page. So I can say var results equals data.query.results. This is the path that we looked at when we clicked through. So it's the object.query, which is this, dot results, which is this, and then there's the array inside it. So I say results is results, and console.log results 0, the first one. Okay, so if I reload that, right, so here's my results object. We have 2 results in there. And there they are. There's one result and there's the other result. So these are my 2 tweets. Does that make sense, everyone? Like, apart from the fact that I'm writing code and you might not understand the code, just the concept makes sense. You know, hitting the server, getting the information, coming back to the server, dumping it to the console, and having access to it. Is that more or less? Questions are cool too, like if it seems. So on the Yahoo side, the function and everything is built into the query. So it's actually built into the URL. So when you look at the URL, you can actually see the select star from Twitter, search, Apple, everything is right here, right? Including this function here that says callback equals do something awesome, right? So when I define that, if I change this to be happy or load tweets, so if I only change that, it's going to try and run the load tweets function on this page. But if it doesn't exist, I'm going to get this uncaught reference error, load tweets is not defined. This function? This one? Yeah, so this function here, this select star from Twitter, this is right here. So it doesn't need to be saved anywhere. If I pass in, so if I want to change this to Steve Jobs, I can change it here, and this will now give me Steve Jobs tweets. So it's there's no actual saving or programming required. It will literally process whatever is in the query string. It will return that back. So if I say, like if I go and change it here, where Q equals up in the URL, pizza, that's what it'll run. So it's all query string based. You don't have to save anything to any servers or anything. You just change the URL, it changes the output you get. Does that make sense?